Welcome back to Marquee Backstage. I'm your host, Julie Milam. Tradition runs deep for today's featured artist. After following the calling of life's greatest passions, this band has come full circle and is impacting the next generation. This is Whitmore.
Stuck in a crossroads, pull up a chair. The way it's looking, I can't go nowhere. Story of my life, with another blank page. Living in the moment, making minimum wage. Futuristic karma, can you slow this down? It's futuristic karma, coming down my lane. Will you keep me young now, and prosper all this pain? The world keeps getting harder.
Fellow Nashvilleian, excited to share the stage with you today. But tell us what life was like for you growing up in Nashville.
Growing up in Nashville was sports-oriented for me. Played baseball my entire life, football, basketball, all those sports, and that was really a huge part of my life. Every day after school, it seems like my parents would drop me off at the local elementary school to play with my buddies, and we'd either play baseball, football, or like a sandlot-like game of some sorts, and that stayed in my life all throughout college.
Was that your ticket to college?
It was my ticket to college.
Okay.
Baseball was, yes.
Okay, so that would be your favorite sport?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. I love them all. Football's a close second, but baseball's my passion.
Okay. Did anybody else play baseball in your family?
My father did, yeah.
Okay, so you followed in his footsteps a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay. Was he your biggest cheerleader?
Yep, and he was my biggest role model as well. So, I was always trying to do the things I saw that he did and was successful at. So.
Yeah. So as a young boy, looking up to your father, what other things did he introduce you to?
Oh, guitar, music,
Okay.
Teaching me the ropes of life, how to be a man.
Mm-hmm. Did your dad play professionally, or did he just play guitar for fun?
It was more fun. I mean, it's recreational. Yeah.
Just around the house.
We took it to the next level together.
So you went on to play music with your dad?
Yes.
And you played professionally with your dad?
If you want to call it that, the Nashville market,
Well, yeah, that's Music City.
I would say so, yeah.
So was it your idea or his idea?
I wrote all these songs, and he was like, I know this guy, John Goldman, and so, John joined the band eventually, and then John was like, I know a drummer. And so he brought Lee along, and then we formed the band. After we formed the band, we got a gig at a friend's party. After we did that, we got a little confidence under our belt, and we played a second gig at a place out in Hendersonville. And, I went to it thinking there was going to be 5 people there, and we pull up, there must have been 150 people there in this little dive bar. And so it was snowing outside, and we walk in, and I was super anxious going in there because I never played in front of that many people. And as soon as we hit that first E chord, it's one of our songs, the whole place was jumping up and dancing and hanging out and just having a great time. And ever since then, we've probably played hundreds of gigs since then. Yeah, he was a big influence on me my entire life.
That had to have been a super special moment to look over and see your dad and share that experience for that first big show.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So did he write also?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote, and he actually would have, professional singers cut his songs. Him and his buddy would write songs together, and then I think they took him to Alan Jackson's producer. It was country music, and they were a little edgy, a little PG-13ish, So they were very well written songs, and we always, him and my mom wound up being divorced on down the road, but he would pick us up on the weekends and pop in his cassette tape to his latest new song that he had wrote. And my sister and I knew the words, of course, but yeah, we even play some of them now still.
Oh, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, did your sister end up being musical?
She can play the piano. She's not as gung-ho about it as I am, but yeah, she's talented as well.
I love it. I love that environment, though, that music has always been around you and kind of filled your soul.
Will you keep me young now and prosper all the way? The world keeps getting harder, and for the show to play, our future is the karma, yeah, 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 yeah. It seems it's so in my time. You take my money to the nickel and dime. Futuristic karma can't slow this down, yeah, yeah. This futuristic karma coming down my lane. Will you keep me young now and prosper all this thing? The world keeps getting harder, and for this show to play, our futuristic karma, yeah, 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 yeah. It's futuristic karma coming down my lane. Will you keep me young now and prosper all this pain? The world keeps getting harder, and for this show to blame, our future is the karma, yeah, 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 yeah.
Athletics was still your number one passion.
Absolutely.
So when did that change?
It was, I don't think it changed until the athletics were for sure over. I remember in college really struggling with the fact of, do I want to go wholeheartedly into baseball or do I want to go wholeheartedly into music? Because I love them both equally. And I remember asking, teammates and friends of mine, what should I do, man? Both. I'm like, yeah, well, it's hard to do both. You really got to dedicate your life to one or the other. And, I played baseball until that day came that you didn't have an opportunity to get paid to play anymore. So,
So tell me the influence that your dad had on the band Whitmore, because obviously he would be the elder in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Did you defer to him or did he let you lead from the beginning?
There weren't many rules with him. He was quite a primitive soul, a great soul, but primitive. And I didn't really know what I was doing because I was a rookie as well. But John had been around the block quite a bit, so he kind of guided me as well, showing me the showmanship and how to, there's little things you learn, like loading into gigs, when to be there, how to wrap up your chords quickly and get ready to go on stage. It's not just pop your stuff up. There's a big part of it's loading equipment. And you could be dog tired by the time you set up to play. You're
right.
On a 100-degree day. Yeah. So, we've been around the block, but definitely a big influence. He bought all the instruments. I was a kid coming out of college. I didn't have any money. He bought them all. He got us started. He had the place to practice. He made the phone calls to get Lee and John on board and practice. And we spent summer of 2009 sweating in his garage, banging out 10 songs until we knew them like the back of our hand. And because if you go play in Music City, you better be ready.
What was the first show in Nashville? What's the first venue? Do you remember?
The first venue would have been the basement on New Faces Night.
Grimy.
And it was we were like a 4-piece Hitch in the Mouth band, and a lot of songwriters were there singing more of a Howie Day type song, and then we come up with a big hollow body guitar my dad's playing and a Strat and a bass and drums, and we're like, and we just took off from there. So we had a good response there. Wound up getting gig after that, and in my 20s, which was probably about 10 years ago, we really were out and about there in Music City. So.
Mm-hmm. So what changes to the style of music have happened over the course of these 14, 15 years?
Well, my father was my lead guitar player until he passed away during COVID in 2020. And so during that time, we took a step back as a band and figured out, if we wanted to move on from that. And we picked up Kenny Sane on the lead guitar last year, and he's done wonderful. But it's also brought a new sound of guitar to what we do. Mm-hmm. And, I would say it's a bit more complex. There's, more chord changes. I've grown as a songwriter, I feel like. So I think it keeps getting better, which is a good sign and why we continue to enjoy doing it.
How hard was it for you to make the decision to move forward without your dad?
It took some time. Yeah, it took some grief time and some soul searching and, figuring out, do I still want to do this? Do I still love it? Is it, you still getting joy out of this? But there's always a song in me that needs to get out, and I think sharing that with people can really, benefit not only myself, but if I can help someone through music, that's a good place to be as a musician.
It's the ultimate goal for sure. What do you think your dad would say about the changes in Whitmore since he was in the band?
I think he'd be happy and proud. I do. I think, I still think I took a little piece of him with me.
I'm certain he is still in this band.
Exactly. Like I'll play certain licks, and somebody will come up to me after a show and be like, "Dude, you sound just like your dad." So I'm trying to take that piece and keep it authentic with the music.
Any songs that you and your dad wrote together?
Muddy Waters. Yeah, it's a song we don't play often anymore because it has a bit of a learning curve because it changes a lot. But it's a really cool Otis Redding song. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and recorded it together. So the awesome thing about it, and I would say to anyone that has an opportunity to play with a parent or record it, because you never know your last moment together, and you'll always have that.
That's right.
It'll live longer than you.
Right.
So.
And video's great, but audio's even better to be able to hear their voice.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's fortunate to have the opportunity to do that.
I love it.
Everything you say to me makes me go crazy. In a good way, bad way, easy little Saturday night. I ain't set my bar too high. You can limbo through my life. You
So what would you aspire to accomplish with these guys, with today's Whitmore? Like, where do you want to go with it?
You know, we just, honestly, we do it for the love of it. You know, we do it for us,
Right.
and the people that enjoy our music. We're not out here to get rich. We're not out here to get famous. It's just a thing that we all love to do, and we all get along. We're all friends with each other. We don't have anybody that's you know, a prima donna or thinks they're better than one another. We all feed off each other, and we hear each other, and are creative together as one. So I would just like to keep that pure and move forward. Just, you know, bigger gigs, maybe some festivals. We've never played a big festival. I would love to do that, and just, you know, grow, get more fans across the United States and in other countries, and just have more listeners.
So some of your biggest fans, I would assume, would be family, because this was born out of family. Do you have children?
I do. I have a 2-year-old Easton and a 5-year-old Nora Kate, and they have the love for music that I do as well.
They do. So are you instilling that in them the same way your dad did, or are you ramping that up?
You know, I don't just, you know, force it on them, but they see me doing it and they want to do what I do. I think, you know, my son has a toy guitar, and he'll plug my cord. I keep all my cords in my studio upstairs loose. He'll grab it and plug his little toy guitar into a real amp. It's the funniest thing. And he's got him a pedal board he'll make out of like a nursery book. You know, I'll try to sneak my cell phone over there and take a picture, but as soon as he sees me, he quits. It's just, it brings a lot of joy to a father's heart to see that.
It's incredible that it has come full circle for you from where you started in Easton's shoes.
Yep.
I love it.
I hope he keeps it up. So.
Well, I can't imagine that he wouldn't if he's going to continue to follow in your footsteps. Does he play? Are they interested in sports at all?
Yeah, Nora Kate, my daughter's been playing softball, and Easton won't put the baseball bat or tee down.
Okay.
He kind of likes to do things his way, but we're working on the correct mechanics of hitting. So, but they have a love for both.
Yeah. So were you that way when you first started out? Did you do things your way?
You know, it's too. Yeah, from what I can remember, I tried to, but I also learned from people that I knew were successful at what I wanted to be good at. I found those people and I picked their brains and listened to them and tried to, you know, be like them, but not only be like them, but try to be better than them. But it took getting to know what they did to be successful to get to the point where I was.
So what advice would you give to your children or younger musicians that are just getting started and deciding that this is something that they want to pursue and get better at?
You know, practice. You've got to, you know, find out what it is that you love and do it. And when you figure out what it is that you love, it's going to be hard, because if it was easy, not everybody would be in on it.
Right.
So, you know, don't give up when things get hard. You know, like, I have the hardest time remembering cover songs all the time, because it's not what I wrote. It's something I've got to go out and learn. You know, even songs I write, I have a hard time remembering. But just practice. Don't give up. Believe in yourself, and you know, stay persistent, and things will work themselves out.
What do you think would be a motto or a mission for Whitmore? Is there a line in a song that you've written? Is there something that really stands out that expresses what you guys really represent or feel as a group?
Just every song. Every song's a story of some point in my life. You know, it's not, you know, completely literal. Sometimes it's metaphoric, but yeah, like This Guitar Is All I Need. It was a breakup song written, but often at times I would feel like, you know, like, hey man, you want to go out tonight? No, I think I'll just stay at home with my guitar and you know, just write a song or jam for a little bit with some buddies. You know, This Guitar Is All I Need is one of our songs that kind of is a motto of us. We, you know, it's one of those things you can do for the rest of your life. You know, even when you're, you know, 80, 90 years old, you can still play a guitar or whatever instrument it may be.
And it still fills you the same way that it always did.
A summer in the bin, no more time to give, but just let her roll. Tonight, gotta make it to my hometown where everything was right. It's just keep beguiling me. We kick it by the sea. And if you call tomorrow, then tomorrow you will see. I let her roll on to flow in the moon. Driving down to town, blowing boosters down. The speakers mount to blow, and time has passed us slow. A summer in the mill, no more time to give. I just let her roll, yeah. Take her out and set her down. One for iron bound. Take her out and set her down. Cause I'm about to pound. Playing out loud. Shout outs to the crowd. Listening to them drunkards as they scream and shout. Back in bed by 3. Then it dawns on me. I'll be crashing all down. It's really early. I let her roll on to flow in the morning. Trapping town to town. The road whiskers down. The speakers mouth to blow.